Everybody, we have a lot of news to cover in today's video surrounding the fourth stimulus check as well as the Social Security information. Now, do you folks believe that President Biden must increase the Social Security benefits by $200 a month? If you do, then leave a comment down below saying I agree. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. On this channel, I always do my very best in providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. So folks, be sure to subscribe.
For the first time, monthly payments began going out to nearly every working family raising a child in the United States of America, thanks to the expanded child tax credit in the American Rescue Plan.
According to CNBC, Congress may be extending federal unemployment benefits past their expiration in early September. One labor economist told CNBC, "It is certainly possible we could have another round of economic contraction in certain areas. Folks, and the unemployment system won't be there for people the way it's been over the past year. Around half the states, largely Republican, have already withdrawn from the federal unemployment programs early. The senators and governors said that these benefits were keeping people from returning to work. Some economists say the dynamic is one Congress should be considering given recent statistics. Soaring caseloads were the reason Congress initially created the crisis-era benefit programs in March 2020. Via the CARES Act, the unemployment system expanded significantly, giving assistance to those who had exhausted state benefits and to those who don't normally qualify for state aid, like the self-employed, gig workers, and parents who had to take care for their kids at home. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Do you believe that federal unemployment benefits should be extended? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no.
Thank you all for listening. May God bless you, and I'll take a few questions.
Mr. President, you said last week that companies and platforms like Facebook are killing people by letting us...
Let me get precisely what I said. I'm glad you asked me that question. One, I had just read that on the Facebook pointed out that it was pointed out that Facebook, of all the misinformation, 60% of the misinformation came from 12 individuals.
Now, the IRS also shows that the country turned away or simply failed to cash around 1.4 million stimulus checks. And that's a whopping $1.7 billion of unclaimed stimulus money. Citizens across the country in states like California, Florida, and Texas all missed out on receiving their stimulus money and the much-needed stimulus check. Democratic politicians continue to urge Joe Biden to reintroduce another round of extra cash. After all, everybody, we do know that there are still many Americans across the country that are suffering financially. And the fourth stimulus check must be approved very soon. And if you guys agree, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. More than 24 Democrats have called on the White House to introduce automatic stabilizers tied to a relief package. The proposal was designed to prevent delays as lawmakers continue to quarrel in Congress. Yahoo Finance reports that the proposed legislation includes unemployment as an automatic stabilizer, which would enable the current number of eligible jobless Americans to claim an automatic relief payment. Around 36 million American families are set to receive monthly checks from the IRS as part of the expanded child tax credit, and this is basically like a fourth stimulus check. Eligible families will receive up to $1,800 in cash through December. However, the tax credit has a wrinkle that may prompt some families to bypass the federal program. Jen Psaki told CBS News that the Biden administration has proposed extending the monthly payments for 5 more years. She told reporters he thinks that this is a central benefit that will help families help get women back to work. The CTC is refundable, which means that people can get it even if they don't even owe federal income tax. But the IRS says families will have to either file a tax return or register through the agency's non-filer portal in order to qualify for the benefit. But there is one major difference between the stimulus checks and the enhanced child tax credit, and how the IRS treats overpayment. With stimulus checks, recipients did not have to repay the IRS if they received more than they were entitled to. But that's not the case with the child tax credit. What do you think about our politicians in Congress? Are they doing what it takes to help out the American people like you and I? And do you believe that President Biden will send out a fourth stimulus check this year and help out the great American people? Leave a comment down below, everybody, saying yes or no. Folks, here's the latest news surrounding Social Security information. Fox News says that Social Security recipients are on track to receive the biggest cost of living raise in 4 decades. That's 40 years, folks. driven by a rapidly rebounding economy that's caused the biggest surge in inflation in years. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan group that focuses on issues relating to older Americans, estimated the adjustment could be as high as 6.1%, based on June inflation, which showed that consumer prices in June spiked by 5.4% from a year prior, the fastest year-over-year jump since 2008. The annual Social Security change is calculated based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, or the CPIW. Now, should Social Security beneficiaries see a 6.1% increase to the monthly checks next year, it would mark the steepest annual adjustment since 1983, when recipients saw a 7.4% bump. Folks, that is all the news in this video. If you guys found this video in any way useful or helpful, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel.
We also know that as our economy has come roaring back, we've seen some price increases. Some folks have raised worries that this could be a sign of persistent inflation. But that's not our view. Our experts believe, and the data shows, that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. The reality is you can't flip the global economic light back on and not expect this to happen. As demand returns, there's going to be global supply chain challenges. We've seen that in semiconductors, which are used in automobiles. That global shortage has slowed vehicle production, creating a temporary spike in car prices. That's a real challenge. My administration is doing everything we can to address it. But again, these disruptions are temporary. Lumber prices are another example. They spiked early in our recovery, but in recent weeks, they began to fall. They've fallen by more than 50%. In the hospitality industry, prices are returning to where they used to be. Economists call all these things transitory effects, and they account for about 60% of the price increases we've seen over the last few months. I want to be clear. My administration understands that if we were to ever experience unchecked inflation over the long term, that would pose a real challenge to our economy. So while we're confident that isn't what we're seeing today, we're going to remain vigilant about any response that is needed. As I made clear to Chairman Powell of the Federal Reserve when we met recently, the Fed is independent. It should take whatever steps it deems necessary to support a strong, durable economic recovery. But whatever different views some might have on current price increases, we should be united in one thing: the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure framework, which we shook hands on. And my Build Back Better plan will be a force for achieving lower prices for Americans looking ahead. It's another reason why the investments are so important.